don't know about you, but it seems to me that whenever the word home renovation is mentioned, it seems to come with a side of dread, and the general consensus seems to be fairly negative, especially about the renovation and home construction process, and definitely about the experience you're about to have. Look, there seems to be a belief that there's a price you have to pay, other than the obvious financial investment of building a house, of course. There's a price to pay to get the home of your dreams, and that price relates to overwhelm, it relates to chaos, to budget blowouts, and to time blowouts, and to the prospect of getting ripped off, or worst of all, not getting the home you've been dreaming of, which is the reason you're even thinking about embarking on this journey in the first place. But I'm telling you now, it doesn't need to be this way. If finding out how is something that might interest you, then stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see that it is possible to get the home of your dreams on time and on budget, and it is possible to have fun along the way and have a great renovation story to brag about to all your friends at the next social get-together. Like most people who decide to renovate or build their dream home, you've probably already spent hours and hours online trying to learn as much as you can about the design and the construction process. And no doubt all this research has led to even more confusion, and maybe even the realization that it's a very complex project with lots of moving parts. And the info that you find is confusing and hard to understand. And it's hard to know if what you're reading is truth or fiction. And everybody seems to give you different advice. And you're not even sure who you can trust, because the information seems biased or told from a point of view that has their best interest in mind, not yours. Look, it really goes without saying that the more you know about a process, actually this is true about most things in life, the more you know about a process, the more prepared you'll be to deal with whatever crops up along the way. And trust me, unexpected things will always come up. It's a renovation, don't forget. But sometimes all this information that you get causes confusion and frustration. You might be going round and round in circles, reading things that aren't even relevant and missing important things that are. And what about those horror stories everybody has been gleefully regaling you with ever since you first uttered the words renovation? And the stories that linger in your mind, they won't go away. Sound familiar? And because of all this milling around in your head, you're probably worried that you're going to waste your hard-earned money and precious time on this project. And you're worried that you might not even end up with the house you've dreamt of to start with. And then there's the concern that you'll be taken advantage or ripped off by someone. And you're probably worried about how on earth you're ever going to make this project happen. These fears are very real, and reality TV portrays an unrealistic view of the process and the commitment that is needed to do this right. And that is the closest thing most of us have got to a renovation. But you know what? It doesn't have to be this way. You can create that perfect home of yours, and you can navigate this journey successfully, even if you've never done this before. And the Zen Reno was founded to help make this happen. It was founded to empower homeowners with the knowledge and the tools to successfully and confidently navigate, actually sail through their home renovation journeys without the horror stories, without the budget and the time blowouts, and without the stress and the overwhelm commonly associated with a home renovation project. And it was founded to empower homeowners to achieve the success, even if the closest they had got to a home renovation project is binge watching the blog. Because let's face it, most of us only do this once or twice in our lives, so it's really important that we get it right, and we get it right straight up. Let me share a little story with you. But before I share my little tale, hit that like button if you're ready for this, and while you're down there, also hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it. That way you'll become part of the Zen Reno family, and you'll be amongst the first to know when our videos drop every single week. If we haven't met, I'm Sarah, and I'm the founder of the Zen Reno. I'm a landscape architect, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a serial home renovator, and I'm passionate about anything design and renovation related, and believe that everyone can have and should have the home of their dreams. So, back to the story. Look, this is the condensed version because otherwise I'd be talking for an hour and nobody's got time for that. So, back in the day, a few years ago now, my husband and I renovated our forever home. Look, we'd done it before personally and a number of times, but on a smaller scale and with a much tighter budget. And add to this, I've been involved in the building industry for 20 plus years, but this was it. This was different. This was our forever home. Being a bit of a cliche, I had been thinking of dreaming about this for a while, and trust me when I say I fell victim to the same worries and concerns that everybody else has. And even with my experience and know-how, I got caught up in the excitement and pretty much ignored my own advice and got distracted by every shiny object, and was in the process of coming down with a severe case of fear of missing out regarding every image I looked at and everyone I spoke to regarding everything. I'm sure you get the picture. So there I was, stressed out, overwhelmed, constantly second-guessing my decisions when it all came to a head. Look, make no mistake, renovating is a big thing, and most of us only do it once or twice. You have so much riding on it, and the least of all being your hopes and your dreams. And you're thinking things like, this might be my one opportunity to do it, and while I'm doing this, I may as well just do this too. And I can feel my blood pressure rising just thinking about it. Ridiculous when I think about it now, but that was where I was at, and that's where most of us get to during this thing. Right. So needless to say, things got out of hand, and thankfully, while we're still in the design stage, I got a costing done. This right here was pretty much the first thing I did right. We got the price in, and needless to say, it was way over budget. Major dose of reality right then, right there. And just like that, my dream was suddenly in mortal danger. My husband had been working away from home a lot at that point, and I remember spending many sleepless nights worrying about how I was going to tell him and having nightmares about that conversation, about having to confess what had happened, what I had let happen, and the fear I felt at potentially losing my dream home, and working out how we were going to find more money and not compromise my dream. And neither choice was appealing to me at all, but difficult choices needed to be made. So after biting the bullet and confessing my sins to him over the phone, a few tears and a glass of wine later, and after lengthy discussions about what we should do and even could do, and he said to me, and I vividly remember this, he said, take a step back and ask yourself, if this had happened to a client, what advice would you give them? So obvious right now. It can be so hard to see the answers when you're in the thick of something. Sometimes the most obvious things are the most difficult to see. And look, the minute he uttered those words, clarity hit, and it hit like a sledgehammer. And just like that, I knew exactly what I would advise a client to do. And that is what I did. I went back to the beginning and I treated my project like it was a client, and I worked through all the steps I advised my client to do, and I know that you need to do from experience, and a bit of jiggling and tweaking, and we were back on track. It was a little bit more painful than that, but that makes for a better story. Look, the lesson I learned from this experience is that it's so much easier to stay focused and on track when you aren't emotionally invested, when you're doing this as a bystander. And it turns out it's an entirely different beast when it's your dream on the line, when it's your money at risk and your busy life that you're trying to juggle. The cold, hard truth is that the process of home building is anything but simple. And it's nothing like what is shown on shows like The Block or House Rules. There's so much more to this than choosing tiles and lights and furniture. And it's not a cookie cutter process either. No two project processes or budgets are alike. And it's understandable how overwhelming it can feel, especially with such uncertainty and lack of concrete answers. Look, my renovation experience made me think that if I, someone who had experience and the know-how to pull my reno back into line, What did people without the know-how do? And this made me wonder what people who have no experience do when their projects go awry. And they do all the time. And there is an abundance of horror stories out there to attest to that. Homeowners fail at this way too often. I found that during this time and ever since, presumably because I was and am in the industry and was renovating myself, home renovation was pretty much the number one discussion topic at pretty much every social gathering we attended at that point. And during these discussions, I came to realise, look, in truth I already knew it, but from then I could no longer ignore it. And the same topics and questions and anxieties and worries came up again and again. Questions like, where do I start? Who do I talk to first? How does it all work? How do I get the most out of the money I have? Do I have enough money? How much will everything cost? And I don't want to get ripped off. And so many more. There is a misconception in society that reinforces that people should be able to pull off a successful renovation without any experience, when nothing could be further from the truth. This realisation led us to find a way to share our experience and our mistakes, and to help other would-be renovators so that they had a way to learn how to renovate over a wine one night with my husband. We decided to do something about it, put our money where our mouths was, as the saying goes. And thus our renovation consultancy, Build It 123, was born. Through Build It 123, we worked one-on-one with clients to guide them through the steps they needed to have a successful renovation journey. But even with the success of that business, something was still missing, because even this service was out of the reach of many. And as a result, we weren't achieving our ultimate goal, which was to empower all homeowners with the knowledge they needed to take control of their projects, to pull them out of the back seat and put them firmly in the front seat, confidently controlling their journey to their dream home, regardless of their project or their budget or, where they lived. A chance meeting and a revealing conversation over dinner reinforced to me the need to put homeowners on an even playing field with the renovation process. When I was seated next to a lady and the inevitable small talk occurred, and the conversation inevitably led to home renovation. And after sharing her horror story, she finished by lamenting that there wasn't somewhere to go to learn how to renovate. And she said, I wish I knew then what I know now. Why does nobody tell you this stuff when you need to know it before you start? We realised then, to help more people, we needed a new plan. So we decided to create a place, a safe place where people can learn how to renovate their homes so they can make smart decisions and take control of their projects. And thus the Zen Reno was born. Through the Zen Reno, through our online courses and our online communities, and through our social media channels, we can now show and share with everybody, no matter their experience, no matter the size of their budget or the complexity of their project, or even their location, how to take control of their renovation and new build project, and how to bring their renovation project in on time and on budget and with minimal stress, and actually have a bit of fun along the way. The name the Zen Reno encapsulates everything a renovation project should and can be: controlled, balanced, and fruitful and inspirational. We want to take the guesswork and the confusion and arm you with reliable, trustworthy, and honest information about the home design and home construction process. The Zen Reno is here ultimately to help you along this exciting journey by empowering you and supporting you and building up your confidence to make all your home building dreams come true. The Zen Reno is your go-to online home renovation resource, and our mission is to help homeowners and would-be renovators, maybe even you, accomplish your big goal, your perfect dream home, according to what perfect truly means to you. So stick around for the ride. We'd love you to join us, and feel free to let us know how we're doing. We're always listening. So if you've got any topic ideas you'd like us to delve into, just drop us a line. I'll pop some contact details in the show notes. The Zen Reno channel was created to share useful tips about home renovation, and our aim is to help you navigate your dream home journey. So join us each week as we pull all of our knowledge and experience out of our brain, because we want you to succeed at this almost as much as you do. See you next week.